Hi guys, welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. Today we'll be flying the QualityWings B787-8 model. And we are flying from Berlin Brandenburg Airport, brought to you by Airsoft, to Gatwick, brought to you by UK 2000, if I'm not mistaken. And during our path we'll have some nice scenery by Orbex for northern Germany, and then through Earth Netherlands, and through Earth UK. In terms of the airline we're flying today, it's the Airwego virtual airlines. So one of the four I'm part of, that's Airwego, Metro, Walker, and Buffalo, which I think gives me quite a good spread in terms of what routes I can fly. And yeah, makes it manageable. I think they all have the requirement to fly once every 30 days, so nothing too crazy. And yeah, what else can I say? Not much. We have flown the QualityWings 1 before. The only difference from my last video is, of course, this one won't go showing everything. As you can see, the cabin isn't the best on this one, but it works from the outside. But of course I'll do as always cold and dark start and all of that, so hopefully you'll catch on. Let's start by though moving the aircraft back a bit. I think the position for the 787 is there. We can jump into the aircraft and then let's see if we can get this one started. It's not always the case. We need to start our stuff here, so we'll start with the batteries. And then we'll connect the external power. So there we go, getting all the systems online. Sometimes, you know, there's licensing issues, you have to re-download the aircraft, re-update it, etc. Which is very annoying. Compared to our last flight though, I do want to highlight that I got a mod to make things brighter in the cockpit, and which seems to work quite well. It does look much nicer actually, I would say. So that's nice. Much easier on the eyes, basically, to see stuff. But yeah, not much else. One thing I can mention, the Brandenburg Airport, it's not the best one. Some shadow issues, as you could see from the cockpit, but also the ILSs, I can't get them to work. And I've updated to the latest version, so it's very frustrating. But I do depart from this airport more often than I go into it. But of course it would be nice to fly into it more. Luckily I do have Tegel that I can still use, at least to a certain extent. But oh well. Maybe not going forward, who knows? Let's see. I do hope they keep the Navigraph for that, because I think it's like, I mean, it's just a sim. I mean, having the approaches and stuff for Tegel should not be an issue, right? Or at least that's how I reason. Let's put all of these on, like I always do with these modern IRSs. Can go to on. We can try the cargo fire, looks okay. For Airwego we use the compass ACARS, which works quite well. You kind of just populate the info and then you have it, and here we're just waiting for taxi for that, so I'll move it down for now. Nav lights can go on. We can try this light switch. I usually put these to auto already, because I'll forget it otherwise. Yeah, we can just put on all of the stuff, so we don't have to think about that. I think that should be enough. Not sure you need to arm the cargo fire though. Let me see this one. Can try the battery switch. Yeah, looks good. We can do the window heat. So yeah, flying a very modern aircraft. A very modern aircraft today with the 787. It's almost too modern for me. This one and the Max with the huge screens. It's yeah, it's not that different in essence, but it's still different. And I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, and now we don't seem to have, but some airports do have the, you can basically see the outline of the airport here, right? So you know how to taxi. I guess I don't have that for Brandenburg. Let's put the flight directors on. This way you can see quite a lot of pages that are not functional, but then there are some that are functional. You can at least have the performance and then the dispatch, which is the more important ones. I know some people complain that you have the aircraft showing here, like, oh, it's not realistic, but I mean, the payload manager is never gonna be totally realistic, right? But okay, let's connect the jetway. We'll have to set the parking brake. We have electrical power now. We can do German wings. You can see that the AI has started to move. Not sure what that aircraft. That's some Chinese airline, Hainan maybe. Let me see what could that be? A 757 maybe, or A330 probably. Probably A330. Just looking at that, probably Rolls-Royce. And look at our beautiful, huge Rolls-Royce engines as well. Very nice. You do also get with the QualityWings the other engine option. Is it the GE one, I think? Let me just check before we get going. I'm just quickly gonna clean up a bit my desktop. I have so much stuff open. Let's see, is there any way you can... I guess you can load the flight plan, but we don't need to do that, so I'll close. Because I think we can see it through Compass, if I'm not mistaken. They have the flight plan. Yeah, it does have that, so that's nice. That's what I like about their own ACAR system. Sometimes they are very good. Let me see, and then... Sorry for the noise, it's because when I go out to my other screen, it basically shuts down the one I'm using. Okay, this is interesting. The EFBs are connected to each other. That's a bit different than what you usually see nowadays. But yeah, I still think the 787 holds quite a high, or has kind of good reputation as one of the better ones, if not the best 787 on the market. Maybe the default 787 in Microsoft Flight Sim has quite a lot of fans, but I still think this one does, at least what I remember, seems to hold quite a good reputation. But yeah, in terms of the fuel and the payload, we can set that. Short flight, or relatively, we only need 30,000 in fuel, so I would just basically set it here in the wing tanks. We can actually just set it here directly. I'll go with the fuel that they recommended, why not? Can't hurt. And then 0 fuel weight, 319,300. That gives us a total weight of 349,300, which is almost aligned. A bit a bit heavier, but should be fine. We can set the fuel tanks and we can set the payload. We'll put that on performance so we can do the calculation afterwards. Let's see, do we have the jetway connected, so that's good. We have, let me just check if we have a flight plan. We have a flight plan as well from 25 left. And we can start the boarding process. Should be quite a bit of people, 216, but we're not gonna go with the full, just to shorten. We'll do 120 through GSX, and then, sorry, now I need to remember, that's the one for Germany, and then that's the one for Gatwick. And flight number is as much as, let's see, AVG 487. There are no passenger stairs. You will not see passengers visually. Okay, that's a bit of a bummer. We're flying high though, 40,000. Yeah, about a 2-hour flight. We can do 45 minutes. The 787 should be here if I'm not totally out of it. Yes, we can do 100. I guess we have Wi-Fi and all of this crap. In terms of Airwego, I do have a boarding music and I do have a safety. It's not as nice or iconic as the Metro one, but it's pretty good. Then we have to press here in order to open the doors. Sorry, now opening the wrong doors. I want to open the cargo doors. I don't get why you have the system like this. It would be nicer with a kind of built-in through the EFB, but you know, each developer to their own. Maybe it was just easier to keep the old system. It's not the end of the world, right? Let's see, do we have anything on the inside? You have some of the inside. As you can see, this is not... I really like the Trondheim airport since I got it, and this is... I mean, it's a mega airport by yourself, but it's just... It's nice in terms of that there's traffic, but it's just a bit dead here around the gate area. And the airport itself is totally lacking of any character. It's a boring airport. I can't believe they spent that much time building this, and with all the failures. But hey, who knows? Maybe it was a well worth the investment. Position in it. We need to do the same thing we always have to do with this one. Go off. Go back on. We can set the inertial. Clear the messages. Now I didn't check the flight data, but I'm gonna assume that we have a good ARAC. Yeah, I did upgrade that relatively recently. So EDDB to EGKK. Runway 25 left. Flight number AWG 4087. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Time to align 7. I guess it's gonna take a bit of time. Let's see if we get some airport map now. Look at that. This seems to be the old though Schönefeld airport map, so yeah, not updated unfortunately. But at least you can see how it works, right? And then it would be the real airport. Departure. I guess that's now we can do the init ref, I guess. Doesn't hurt to do that already. 40,000 with a cost index of 15. Seems to be quite a popular one from SimBrief. We have reserves, but quite low. 4,000 pounds. Looks correct. Let's go and do the route. Oh, sorry, departure. 25 left. And we are leaving from as much as Suk 121. Yeah, this one. I think we'll have a different one. Let's see what QualityWings gives us. Not sure I matched the ARAC with these. Okay, so Sukip, and we'll be doing the Y206. Okay. Y206 to Burrell. Once you get used to getting these automatically, it's really nice. But putting them in yourself is like putting the flight plan is somewhat of a nice kind of brainless thing to do sometimes. L980 for the airway, 20SN. We're doing a direct to Galso. And then Q63 to Arek. The only sad part about going to Gatwick is we want to see the nice London scenery right through Earth. What could be worse? Arek should be Y4, got so many airways on this route. And then Terra, which should be our last. Tebra, sorry, not Terra, Tebra. Zoning out completely here now. Arrival 8 right with Tebra 2G1, and let's do a pilot to ADC now. I'm just gonna check that we have we're a heavy right, so let's save that. Let's import the flight plan. GS exporting is completed already, so that was quick. Here you can see the flight plan. We'll be going across Europe. We can do the SID first. 25 left. Suki, 2 Ns, that's the same. Star, Tebra, 2G. And then approach. And this is the one I want to check. So is Timba the one we should do? I think Timba is the one we should do. Because then we get a very smooth flight. We'll connect to the sim. And I'll move this one away so you don't have to watch it. I'll file the flight plan as well. Even though it's good to get the 80s right, but I really should take it from active sky just to make sure I get the right one. Okay, let's see, we shouldn't have any discontinuities. And it doesn't look like we have any, at least there. Let's go and look at the legs page. Looks very good. We'll execute. And then we can go to trust limitation. Let's do the performance calculation. Oh, sorry, actually. I just realized one setting I hadn't changed. Even though it's pretty good to get that. But I don't need the sounds here, right? So I usually... Let me check if there's anything else.
You will be advised when the use of approved devices such as personal computers and compact disc players is
we
permitted.
can keep high quality, I guess.
Devices may be found in the magazine.
Let's see if that changed anything. Maybe it looks a bit better. Iris alignment is very fast, which I guess is fine. Info. Hopefully we don't... Let me check if that's gone now with the sounds. Seems to be gone. It's pretty good though if you don't have pack X, right? Then you have that option. Pre-flight menu, oxygen, flight instruments. Somewhat normal, I guess. Oh, and then we have the HUD as well, so that's pretty cool. Let's do our calculation, or actually let's Airwego 4003 heavy, ready to copy IFR clearance. 090 we're gonna get. Let's check the squawk. 655, sorry.
Airwego 4003 Heavy is cleared to Echo Golf Kilo Kilo, climb via the Suki to November departure, with the Sukip transition, then as filed.
Anything else?
Climb to flight level 090 via the departure.
We can close the door.
Clearance is 5 minutes after departure. Radar director on 136.1.
Oh, you have floor lights.
Squawk 6556.
Let's see. Let's get the altimeter 1029.
Altimeter is 3038 ground on 121.7 Airwego 4003 heavy.
And they seem to be linked, right? So we don't have to set that twice. We can also plan it here. Trust rating. I guess we could do takeoff 1 actually, just to make sure. Looks to be dry conditions. 260 at 7. Outside air temp of 5. QNH of 1029. Takeoff weight. Let's see that we get that correct. 349. I'm gonna put this as 349. Just to make sure we get it right. And then CG. I think we can get it from dispatch. No, we can't. Maybe we can get it from this one though. $28, would that be our CG? That's the cruise one, but don't think we have any other number to go by, so we'll add that. And then we'll calculate, and we have the Trent 1000A engines it seems, so that's good to be aware of. I always forget their name in more detail, right? Flap 5, 130, 132, 143, 63 for temp. So let's select 63 there. We'll go takeoff. 130, 132, 143. That looks correct. 2.25. That doesn't seem to be within the stub limit though. Yeah, exactly. Odd. We'll put 3. I think these look fine. 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 Okay, so looks like we have this set. Let's put the leg page on both of them. Airwego 4003 heavy, ready for pushback. I will go to the right and then to go to the left
Pushback
and down.
approved Airwego 4003 heavy.
Okay, let's see. Passenger signs.
Taxi routes, brake, seat instructions, standard reject procedures. Will depart via the SID on the initial altitude.
I hope we'll depart via the SID. We start the APU. This looks fine. Takeoff speeds, taxi, beacon light should go on. Okay, anything else? No, don't think so. We can go back here. We have a en route map at least, which is pretty nice to have. Gives you some extra visibility. If you didn't watch my last video as well, I just want to mention it's not tied to this, but that we are using the volumetric clouds, so if they do look a bit different, that's why. Once again, a disclaimer is that they do work better in some aspects, but mostly are worse. The worst part is the transition, which is like, it just suddenly changes the weather, which is not very nice, but it's, at least it works better with mountains and that sort of things. Let me ask for pushback. Ice warranty request, de-icing. No de-icing needed. Let's check if we can speed up the pack X boarding. I'll shut the cargo doors.
No promises.
Let's have a look if we get that. We can do normal with the checklist. So we do have the APU on. Do you have to do anything with the APU? There's some bleed air or similar? No, because I think the bleed air doesn't come from the engines, right? There is no bleed air, right? It's electric or something, if I'm not mistaken. So we can remove the external power as well. So we don't have that. Let me see actually what back X is saying if I do ask them about the...
We're ready to go when you are.
And there we go. So that was fast. Let's close the door even though we moved the jetway already, but yeah. Minor mistake.
Before start checklist.
Yeah, before start checklist. Let's have a look there. Here you can see all these different menus.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome
And
aboard flight
the, oh, this is the before taxi one.
427 to service to London Gatwick. Our flight time will be roughly 2 hours. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane
We can
mode
put on
and
the
larger devices
traffic.
are now
So
shut down
TCAS
in
is off. We want to put that on. Now I need to think, how do you put that on? This one, right? That's the one, that's transponder mode. Now we have the TCAS on and alive. Gonna have a look at the PIREP, looks good. They are locking gear. We'll do nose right. Just gonna quickly check. Pushback has been approved. Very good. Parking brake being released. I am not gonna stand by with that engine start. We're just gonna get going.
Go ahead for cockpit.
Clear to start engines.
Okay, starting engines.
Starting
Roger.
right
We are
engine.
starting. Start both engines.
And these are huge, these engines, right? I like the sound effects.
Please direct your attention to the screen to an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we require your full attention while we demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. When the seat belt sign illuminates, you must insert the metal fittings one into the other and fasten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seat belt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seat belt fastened throughout the flight as we may experience turbulence.
Let me actually
There are
raise,
several emergency exits
because
on
I
this
just
aircraft.
realized I
Please
had
take a few moments
decreased
now
a
to
bit
locate
the
your nearest
volume.
exit, which in some cases may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, those can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrows. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be
We need the
detached and
fuel,
used as a lifeboat.
the fuel pumps to
In
start
the
the engine.
event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you to start the flow of oxygen and pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth and secure the elastic band behind
There we have an
your head and
EasyJet
breathe
going.
normally. If you're traveling with a child,
So there we're getting that huge engine going.
assist the other person. In the event of an emergency, assume the bracing position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs with your feet flat on the floor. A knife
Can
vest
remove
is
that.
located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic
And we can
pouch
start
and
the
remove
second
the
engine
vest.
as well. You
Secure
have
over your head.
multi-engine
Fasten the
starts
straps around
possible
your
on
waist
these
and adjust to the
aircrafts,
front.
or on
To
this
inflate
aircraft,
the
so that's
vest,
pretty
pull
nice.
firmly on the red cord only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpiece. Use the whistle and light to attract attention. At this time, your portable electronic devices must be set to airplane mode until an announcement is made on arrival.
And who's
We
taking
remind
off
you that this is a
or
non-smoking
arriving?
flight and tampering or disabling the smoke detectors located in the
A
toilet
very
is
nice
prohibited
livery.
by law. You will
Sundar.
find this and all the
That's
other
cool.
safety information on the cards located
Okay,
in the seat
parking brake
pockets in
set.
front of you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members.
Ah,
We
forgetting
wish you
again
all an enjoyable flight
to
with Airwego
give them
today.
some fuel. I wonder if you could keep it like that in real life, or if it would kind of choke the engine somehow. Anti-ice, recall. Auto brake, reject the takeoff, flight controls. We didn't check that. We can quickly check. Elevator looks good. Elevator, ailerons, good. Rudder looks. Oh, yeah, that's why you shouldn't move that rudder.
Before taxi
Almost
checklist.
killed the guy. We can arm the outer thrusts, and here's where you press for the toga. interesting that this one, or it's touch, right? But you can't zoom with the mouse wheel, but okay. Doesn't make too much of a difference, to be honest. Anything else? No. Bye bye. Airwego 4003 Heavy, ready to taxi.
Airwego 4003 Heavy taxi to runway 25 left.
Yeah, we'll taxi to runway
Taxi
25
to runway
left.
25 left. Airwego 4003 Heavy.
I guess this could be on off now, but let's keep it. We did that test, we did the fire tests. Things looking good. We have both engines started. We can shut the APU. Not as nice as the MD-11 with automatic shutting off the APU, but still pretty good. We don't have to care about any equipment in front of us. We'll release the brake. I'll change to checklist. We need to set the flaps to 5. Trim is set, auto brake is set. We don't need to do anything with speed brakes. So this checklist should be done very shortly. As you can see, we're taking or taxiing on idle thrust, which is very nice. It's a very modern looking airplane. Not one of my favorites, but I can appreciate it from an objective standpoint. I wonder if this one is taking off or if it landed. It looks like a takeoff because it's not slowing down. Ooh, that was a tail strike almost. Poor EasyJet. Not at its finest. Okay, let me see if we can get to the
ready for takeoff.
that one, or we can have the ND open on that one as well, I guess. Not very useful for our purposes. Let's just keep the checklist. Okay, we're taxiing here. Sund Air. Never seen actually, but cool. That's a different airline. And then we have Plax. So many different. And Hainan with the A330. Is it the 200 or 300 model? Let's see if we can see. Because it's not the 300F, which there seems to be a lot of somewhere around here. It's the 300 model. Yeah, that's good to know. Okay, let's and actually we should have put on the taxi lights and the turn off lights, which aren't that strong now since it's a bit dark. You would want it to be like lighting up a bit, because you know you still see lights during the day, not that much though, right? Let's have a look if they gave us any sort of taxi specific taxiway that we should have. No taxi route was calculated, so we can just do our own thing. I guess I'll just turn here and then take to the right. Looks like a bit of an overcast. Will be interesting to see what the weather is once we get going. It will probably change that multiple times, just because, like I said in my previous video, it's not based on tiles. It's just like the whole world is one weather, right? So when active sky changes that, it's changed by itself. And I'm still continuing to use that same volumetric configuration, so I'm very interested in seeing how it looks. It's a bit of an assessment, seeing if it's worth keeping that one, going back to the active sky controlled one, or maybe looking for another one. Let's see, but yeah, the cockpit looks much better now with the lighter interiors, so that's a really good mod. Let me think if there's anything else we need to do. We have denied entry to the cockpit. We have set the altimeter, gears. We have the right altitude there. Overhead panel looks to be correct. Well, let's double check actually with this one if we seatbelt signs are set up. I'm quickly logging into Airwego just to make sure that I actually do have this flight, the right flight plan for it. It's always good to double check. Has happened before, and then I've been saved by my own double checking. It looks to align.
Tower on 118.8, Airwego 4003 Heavy.
Yeah, route looks good. Perfect. And we can go to tower. Airwego 4003 heavy, ready for takeoff.
Airwego 4003 heavy winds are 256 and 7 knots cleared for takeoff. Runway 25 left squawk 6556.
And we can turn
Cleared
here.
for takeoff.
We got
25
takeoff
left
clearance.
Squawking 6556 Airwego 4003
And
heavy.
I can't see any aircraft coming into land, so what we'll do is simple. We will put on the landing lights and the strobe lights whilst we turn off the taxi lights. So there we go. It's still though quite a quiet one, even though the engines are huge. It's a very quiet aircraft. Maybe not as quiet as the A340-300 with those APUs attached to it, but yeah, still pretty good. Let's see if there's anything. We should have LNAV activated as well. But other than that, I don't see anything else that we need to activate. So let's turn to right. It taxis very well, this aircraft. That's a big plus. That's always a kind of, you know, you see that they put in some effort into the aircraft by getting the taxiing. And quite nicely implemented. Okay, so runway is verified. I think we have the RAS system. Yeah, we do. Okay. Takeoff power set, or whatever they say. Let's put that one out and try to use it, since I'm not the best at using it. Check. 100 knots, check. 120 knots, check. Rotate. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm rotating a bit slowly. Okay, there we go. Let's trim this aircraft a bit, losing the gear. We're gaining a lot of speed very quickly, so I'll go to flap 0 already. We can shut those. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we had a lot of thrust. Okay, let's see, let's use this one. I don't know why I'm trying to check downwards. I'm just too used. And that's the one I should be aiming for.
Climb to flight level 180 radar director on 136.1 Airwego 4003 heavy.
Not sure why these are not aligned. Oh well.
Director Airwego 4003 heavy climbing to flight level 180.
180. We're just gonna put this up to
Center on 125.8. Take care Airwego 4003 heavy.
I'm not
Center
sure why we're
Airwego
not getting the
4003 heavy climbing to flight level 180.
right data on this one. We are on LNAV, right? The problem might be the VNAV. We should have activated that. This should help. So let me get this up to 40,000. That's a bit quicker than what I was. Okay. There we go. So we're still overspeeding by quite a bit. We have climbed above the overcast. I'm just gonna go to autopilot mode. That should hopefully align it a bit better. We don't need this. We can go to standard. It's basically gonna fly itself now.
This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you will be required to pay a small fee.
I mean, logically you could, I'm trying to think. You could fly to the top. Once you're at the top, I guess the only thing you would need to do manually, right, is deploy gear and flaps. Otherwise you could basically get it to land from the top of descent or the top of cruise. You could just set everything up, but you would need to set the lights yourself and the gear and that sort of stuff. Let's see, so we'll be climbing quite a long time. Let me see. We don't need the landing lights anymore. These lights are off. The people can be set free. Weather radar. That should have been on. My mistake. Standard barrow or the altimeter. Looks quite okay. The overcast a bit blurrish, but much better than the Active Sky one, which has like this weird, very weird looking overcast. And let me now have a quick look. The recording is going relatively nicely. Gonna put it a bit lower, the volume. And since this is gonna be a bit of a longer flight, not crazy long, right, but still a bit longer than normal, I'm gonna find a nice viewpoint for you guys to have and enjoy. I think this one is the best, right? The wing. I've been thinking a lot, like which one do you see? I guess you see a bit more here if you wanna look at the engine. But yeah, the engine is just doing engine things, spinning. So I'll do this one. This is my favorite. Let me just find a good one. There we go. So I'll be back. Hopefully we don't crash. See you in a jiffy.
Climb to flight level 340, Airwego 4003 Heavy. Climb to flight level 400, Airwego 4003 Heavy. Center on 119.82 Airwego 4003.
Okay, the captain is back. Looks like the weather has changed drastically from an overcast
Center
to
Airwego
a
4003
almost
heavy
clear sky.
climbing to flight level 400.
How's our climb going? Oh, we haven't even climbed all the way. Yeah, 40,000 feet. That's not the norm to get these kind of short flights, but I guess it's not unheard of. I do wonder what the maximum ceiling of the 787 is. Let me see. Oh, almost at 43,000. Or that's the normal one, so I guess that's not the max. They wouldn't put that. Let's have a look at the 787 ceiling, 43,100. So I guess in practice you can go a bit higher probably. And this is the 787-8 right, so it's a bit shorter version. I'm actually trying to see how many of these other ones are. So this one has been built, quite a few of them, almost 400. Then it's almost 650 of the 9 version, and then a bit over 100 of the 10. The 10 has been introduced later, but seems to be quite popular, while the 8 seems to have lost in popularity from being very popular at the beginning. So basically now it's the 9 787-9 version that's the most popular, with almost 600 unfulfilled deliveries. The 10 has 150 and 34 of the 8 version. Wait, how many does the Nippon Airways use? Jesus, I'm looking at the operators amount, and Nippon Airways have 83 of them.
In a few moments, we'll be starting our
Isn't that a
in-flight
crazy amount? I had no clue they were this
Please look at the seat back for our list of complimentary and premium drinks.
these big.
Available for a small charge. Note that
And I mean, they have a lot of different aircrafts. They have A380s. They have Airbuses, Boeings, 767, 777s. Yeah, they are a versatile and a huge variety in their fleet. Let's see, our top of descent is still 200. Coming towards us slowly and surely, but quite some ways to go. We could, I guess theoretically, we don't need to do VNAV. We could instead just go to... let me see. We could just do altitude hold. And then we could go really fast with the Mach. So like 8.9 almost, that's crazy fast, 8.8 maybe. That should save us some time, burn a bit more fuel though, so that might screw up with our fuel calculations, but let's see. Hopefully not. In terms of the approach, we can just do that, but I do think... let me have a look at where we are at now on our journey. There we are, so we've been flying quite a while. Time to destination 1 hour. So we're not even over the Netherlands yet. Let me have a look at performance data. Landing. It was a while since I landed 8. I usually land on the 26th, so from the other direction. So that's more of my... I'm more used to that for some reason. Let me see, the online flight plan states that we're landing on 8 right, and that's correct. I think it's dry conditions, but let's get the METAR. No, non-reported. The winds are quite okay, nothing crazy. Temperature is pretty good as well. In terms of the QNH, it's also a bit higher, but nothing too crazy. We'll do Cat 1, 30. I guess we'll do a manual one, but oh well. Anti-ice.
Center on 125.1.
Let's just do
Airwego
no credit,
4003
auto.
heavy.
Auto brake to landing weight. Will probably be
Center Airwego
quite a bit
4003
lower.
heavy at flight level 400.
33. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll do a bit higher though, just to take into account that I do have a bit of discrepancy. 136. So yeah, that's very much aligned. Let's see what they're saying. They are saying, okay, just the contact is different. And that's fine. Let's go back to the map and just see what's the verdict. 55 minutes left. Oh, and now we are we shaking a bit the aircraft? I am guessing we should probably slow down a bit. We don't want to push the frame too hard, not that we have failures on this one, just because it's very annoying to see the shaking. Oh, and look at that, we are getting back into some form of overcast. So yeah, this is the negative, right? It's changing so abruptly. You don't get those nice transitions. But oh well. I guess it's nice to be able to change things up, right? Go from 2D to volumetric. Look on the bright side, right? We can already start preparing for the actual not the landing, but yeah, the landing actually, yeah. God, what am I talking about? What else would we prepare for? The landing. So 08, right? ILS 110.9 is the info I'm getting. Can I double check that somewhere? Nav radio should be here, right? Can we maybe see it? It should be here somewhere. Yeah, let me just see if I can. Yeah, okay, I should. That makes sense. So you would do the frequency and then the cause, which is 7. Okay, we'll put that in just because I want to be on the positive side of things and not miss anything. Transition altitude is 6,000. Barrow is 336. And let's make sure it's on Barrow, not radio. We do seem to be shaking a bit still, so I'm gonna slow down some more. And whilst we are slowing down, I will just make sure we get this one correct. .336 it should be. .336, sorry. Like downwards, like that. Perfect, there we go. We have the Barrow set, we have the ILS set. We do have the performance, right? 136. altimeter 1029. You can zoom in here a bit on the map. And then let's see, 10129, can you switch that so you have it saved? 10129, because I kind of like this with the Boeings, right? You can kind of save the altimeter, so you don't have to worry about that at a later stage. Okay, let's have a look. What sales do we have? Any new ones? A lot of ones are ending, and I guess a lot of them will start again for the in relation to once we get the, what's it called? God, totally blanking now. Once we get to Black Friday, right? Samsung has some nice scenery. Maybe I should buy the Zurich one. Maybe that could fix the missing autogen. There's a lot of ones from Samsung I want to get at some point, but it's just hasn't been on the map to get any of these yet. Pushback has his sale. Also ending very shortly. Same with Just Sim. Real world scenery as well. But really nothing that I want. I mean, I bought the Norwegian airports. I bought actually the one at Paro. Just don't have an A319 to fly in there, but maybe I can do an A320 flight there. Should be fine, I guess. Justin has a few airports that would be interesting. Hanover, Dusseldorf. I think there's some other versions from other developers for those as well. The problem is, of course, that which one do you get, right? I mean, you should only get airports you'll actually fly to a lot. Most airports I'm pretty happy with that I've gotten, but some are, let's say, less good. For example, like I really like the Estonia Tallinn by Pushback. Then I have the Riga for Latvia, but that one is, I use both. Do I need both? Yeah, I guess. Which one do I prefer to fly to? Tallinn. So yeah, that's also like something to contemplate. Always contemplate like what do you actually want to buy and why. What was the weather though at our destination? Broken at 1,700 feet visibility, so it should be quite nice. The clouds, nothing too crazy. And another thing in terms of airports, get them when they're cheap. I mean, now we're getting quite a lot of good deals, so then it might be worth to get some now and then just wait until I guess the next sales. But it's hard, you know, it's hard to find the ones one really want. Usually the ones that you really want are not on sale. I've been waiting for Latin VFR actually to have some sales, because they have a lot of good ones for P3D. So hopefully they'll have a sale soon. Specifically Orlando, I would be interested in getting, and some of the other ones as well. Madrid.
Center on 118.75 Airwego 4003 heavy. Center Airwego 4003 heavy at flight level 400.
Yeah, we're still at flight level 400. It feels like we have stopped chopping, so maybe we're at the right speed now. Let's have a look at the 45 minutes. Still gonna be quite a bit of a journey left. Let's see, Just Flight. Do they have anything interesting going on? Any interesting sales? No. Any interesting in development? I guess we'll soon. There hasn't been any development releases, but I'm guessing the RJ Professional will probably be releasing soon. I assume they want to push that one out because it's an update, right? The other aircrafts, I'm wondering, will they release them for 24 or what's the plan? So we have some interesting times ahead of us. Let me close this one. Let's jump to my favorite Avsim. See if there's some interesting discussions going on there. Okay, let's see. Not so, Avsim, what things can you bring me in terms of news? Anything more explain maybe to put it in perspective? Somebody ranting about payware. Nothing too interesting though. Microsoft Flight Sim. The promise of things to come. Some people having a hard time flying Microsoft Flights in 2020. Gonna be interesting to see how 24 is. Maybe that will be worth getting at some point, but not in too big of a rush. Luckily it doesn't seem to take a lot of memory, so that's actually nice. So it could be a good addition. Would probably need another SSD just to make sure that I have one for only Microsoft Flight Sim stuff in that case, but let's see. It's hard to motivate you to get another one since I do basically have X-Plane 12 and this one as my main. I would still want to fly actually FSX though. I do love the Captain Sim 707 in that one and the 727, but I have unfortunately not been able to get it started. I think it's the reason since I don't have it on my C drive, there's some issue, something yada yada, messing things up unfortunately. But yeah, let's see, maybe at some point. Okay, 40 minutes, we're getting over Amsterdam now. Still flying this boring overcast weather with some sort of white blurriness at the end. I guess it's supposed to be clouds or something to that effect. I really don't get the whiteness, but yeah, not gonna complain too much.
Center on 119.17.
I guess the problem is exacerbated. God, can't pronounce it now. By the fact that I'm that high, right, at 40,000 feet. So that's why I get to see this kind of white band here. Let me check though if so that could also be a good thing to at least let me see, I'm gonna close Aska, we don't need that, don't know why that was open, but we do have active sky, so you do have some settings. So this one I have prevent, so they don't change the config file, but then I do have this enabled detail. I'm not sure if it works though with the prevention of the volumetric.
Expect the TEBR2 Golf arrival with the Tupper transition for the ILS approach to runway 08 right with the
force,
transition.
yes.
Airwego 4003 heavy.
Let me see here if we have wind, probably not wind related, it's visibility maybe. Fog layer. This one doesn't either. Minimum 0, 75 I think is the maximum. Okay, maybe not that many settings actually for the EA mode itself. Let's see if the general options. Installation. Yeah, no luck unfortunately. But oh well, not the end of the world. We're getting closer and closer to our top of descent though, so that's pretty nice to see. About 240 nautical miles. Let's see what PAD-TDC says. 285 nautical miles left. So we're a bit over halfway already, so that's nice. I'm actually wondering if I should get the Frankfurt from Samsung. I think it's for P3D version 5. Let me just show it quickly to you guys. It looks pretty good. It's not the best scenery I've seen, but could be nicer than the Orbex one. But of course it's always hard. It's not like super gorgeous. I think the nicest one I saw from Samsung. And let me just check. Could it have been Singapore maybe? Let me just check some pictures. I think the Singapore one is quite nice with the high rises. So if I ever get Singapore, I think I'll just get the Samsung one. That should cover all of Singapore. And it's compatible with the Imagine Sim Singapore, so that's really nice. And Tokyo was pretty nice, I guess, as well. Was it Tokyo maybe? There was one of these scenery that I just thought like kind of stood out in a positive. Tokyo is really nice actually. Or was it Shanghai Times maybe? Oh yeah, Shanghai Times was pretty good by Samsung as well. Looks pretty nice. Not as nice as the cityscapes, but pretty good. And this is the Tokyo one. also looks pretty
Will
good.
cross over at or above flight level 155 and then descend via the TEBR2 Golf arrival.
One gotta remember that you can't like assess it from close to the ground, right? You have to assess it from a bit higher up. You're rarely gonna go that close unless you fly VFR with one of the general aviation. Okay, we are at the top of descent already, actually, from the perspective of our Pilot EDC app. But we have still 250 nautical miles, so I don't think there's any point starting to descend just yet. No, we can keep that in mind. That we'll soon have to go back to VNAV and all of that. As we're still just waiting, we can go to systems and just quickly check fuel. We don't have a lot of fuel. Will be very interesting to see how much fuel we'll have left once we get down. We really need to land. We don't have too many attempts. Our alternate is Paris. And I have no clue how we would be able to land, get up again, fly down to Paris. I think sometimes these calculations we get are very optimistic. Okay, let's see. Anything interesting that we have on? Nothing there. Let me go to Explain forums and check as well if there's some interesting news on. Just haven't found any topic on the new aircraft that they mentioned during that stream, like the new airline that's coming from default. I mean, it could be good, right? If it's more close to A330 rather than the MD-80. So it would be cool to see if there's been any discussion in that regard, but doesn't seem like it. And not really any updates either, so been quite quiet on the Explain front now. I mean, we had the good releases with the Flight Factor 777 and the A330, but not much else now. Definitely gonna buy the A330. Waiting for a sale actually for. Well, let's see if that one comes out anytime soon on a sale, but at least it would be a definite buy if it did. And then I want to buy, I think the toll is A320. I'm gonna check which one, because they had the Neo version, right? Exactly, the Neo. So that one has been on, but that's also probably gonna be a purchase for a sales. So this one, not the best website, but I think it looks pretty good. The Neo one. I do have the Aerosoft Neo, the kind of modification, but I think this one would be fun to do some short hops, because I do have the problem I don't have that many kind of more regional aircrafts for Explain, so I can do some smaller airports. Let me see, we're flying now over through Earth, Netherlands. As you can see, it looks very nice. We don't really have that many clouds, so we can really see everything. It's quite crazy how much the weather is changing. We're going from like overcast and overcast, which I guess makes sense. Winter is coming, right? Now I'm trying to think. Is it up there? That's maybe Amsterdam, and I guess this should be then Rotterdam, right? This must be Rotterdam with all of these. And I would assume that the airport for Rotterdam It's relatively close by. Is it that one? Could that be the Rotterdam airport? Does look a bit like it, but I'm not... Can't verify it just yet. Let me check. The airport should be closer actually to the... Should be around here. So that's the airport down there, yeah. Okay, still not on the top of the descent, but we are getting there slowly and surely. Let me see, we'll soon have to slow down a bit. About 30 minutes left of flight time. Sorry, just jumping out of the... Okay, we'll soon have to start slowing down, or putting on the VNAV again. Yeah, interesting. There's some freeware 717 that was never released for... I mean, Explain Forms is really the death of a lot of freeware initiatives. I guess like 3D has the same, but just Explain seems to be like... There's so many good ideas. I even saw a nice DC-10 that's being made now, but the guy seems to be like in high school or something, so it's like, will he finish it? Hopefully. But yeah. It looks very good though, so he is a skilled developer, but... And a lot of these freeware ones, they should... I think they should not... I like the freeware idea, but you know, it's too much time nowadays to make good freeware aircraft. So they should also, you know, think in that perspective, you know, maybe charge something. Make it worth it, right? Okay, let's see. We can engage the VNAV now. Let's check what descent clearance we got. 040. So let's get down to 4,000. I'll insert that. I did all the approach briefings and stuff. I don't think there was too much to... 1336, yeah, seems reasonable. Our descent will start soon enough. 6,000 is our transition altitude, and look at the amount of boats here. This is really Rotterdam. I love this freeware boat mod that, you know, it just adds ships. You can even see them going here into the channel. That's crazy. Just looks amazing. Let's see if we can get some nice screenshot actually here. I'm gonna use one of these more standard cameras. Let's see. I move that one a bit. Maybe something like this would be nice. I tried to take one at the ground, but I just didn't. It was quite boring, right? Let's do it like this. That could be a nice banner. You get to see some True Earth Netherlands as well as the logo. I wonder if there's an art to it as well. If you want the most views, take this kind of a picture. I guess there is one. But not something I would be too caring about or too knowledgeable about as well. I guess if I knew I would apply it, right? Knowledge is power. Okay, let's see. Now we've started descending. Looks pretty good. Let me see if I can give you a nice view, and I'll take a short break again and I'll be back. See you soon.
Center on 118.47 Airwego 4003 heavy. Center Airwego 4003 heavy descending to 4,000 feet.
Okay, the captain is back. Looks like we're back in overcast. Is this the only two weather? Or at least this flight, it seems to have been the only two weathers we have experienced. Overcast and I guess non-overcast without any types of clouds. Let's see. Still descending. Looks like we are ascending relatively nicely. Still probably around quite a bit, 60 minutes left. That's a good one, descent checklist. Recall. Checked. Notes. I guess we checked that. Auto brake. 2. Landing data, yes. Approach briefing, yes. No threats. At least none that I can think of. Maybe the clouds. Let's see with the minimums, but I think we should be fine. What was it, like 1,700 feet? And I think the minimums are 330, so we should be fine. So normal, we can keep that on approach. Let's see, we're down at 18,000 soon. So yeah, slowly and steadily we're getting closer and closer. What's the timing? So 18 minutes according to Pilot ADC. Which makes sense. We'll soon be in the cloud layer as well. Looks pretty good now actually, the cloud layer. So I do like that fact that I'm not as bummed out by getting cloud layers as I used to be when flying with the volumetric clouds. So that's a nice thing. And we need to change the standard once we're down at 6,000. What's the flap limit on this one? 250, 230, 230 for 5, 15 for 215. Okay, that sounds very good. And here's our approach. We're gonna keep it like this. Anything else? No hidden Easter eggs in the cockpit that we can try. I guess we can move the chair, right? So that's a pretty cool feature. I think there was some pilot that they had gone like a crazy descent or something, and they said it was because the chair pushed them forward, which pushed the joke, something like that. I think the consensus was that that was probably not what happened, but yeah, convenient excuse. Let's see, up here, anything? I guess the backup should have been on as well. So small mistake from my side, APU is off, that's fine. Cabin chime. We can soon put on the passenger seatbelt sign, but let's not stress it. We're flying quite nice with the VNav. I mean, it looks like we are on the right track. Let's see, we can see some of the ground here through the cloud layers, that's nice. Can we request the forecast? Does that work? Maybe, maybe not. We have the transition, so let's see if we can keep the speed once we get to 10,000 feet. And now we're really getting low. We'll very soon pass through this cloud layer, which looks very good now actually. In that sense, I've been very thoroughly impressed by the configuration. This volumetric, it really makes it nice to fly in overcast conditions. I don't mind it at all actually. So it might be good to do volumetric at least during the winter time when, since I fly a lot in Europe, it usually looks like this. Okay, let's see, we haven't seen anything on the weather radars, which I guess is a good sign. What about terrain? Everything looks green, which makes sense, it's UK, southern UK is not that, it's quite flat. I do want to keep that. We're not descending that much now, is it because the next waypoint is rather high, then we get to go lower and lower. About 15 minutes according to this, 14 according to this, so they are aligning, or 15 minutes according to pilot ATC, 40 minutes according to this one, range 49 nautical miles. Oh, I guess it's just taking the direct range like this, while pilot to ATC is saying 90 nautical miles, and it's taking the range, I guess, from the flight plan. Let's get this one down. Quite hard to read, can you... Let's see. Okay, you can increase the brightness so you can see it a bit better. But how do you know, like, to follow the path? Is that the flight director? That was the problem I had on the climb out or the takeoff, right? I wasn't sure what was I following. Not the clearest system. Can you open anything up here? Nope. It's a beautiful cockpit though, very roomy. So I guess this one must be quite popular. I still don't know why they went with the yoke. I guess they could have had the same logic as the yoke with the side stick, right? To have them connected, but I feel like this would be a nice yoke cockpit. Oh, sorry, nice joystick cockpit. Even though it's not wrong, I do like flying with a yoke. But I do feel at the same time it could have been even nicer with a joystick. Okay, let's see. Still descending. We shouldn't descend that much more though, since we're coming up towards the... And the speed should be changing to 50 after that. Soon we'll be in the clouds. I'm assuming the weather will change at least one more time, but that should be it for the approach. So one more transition. Yeah, beautiful aircraft. Not sure if I prefer this or A350. Maybe the A350 does look a bit more, I don't know how to say, but structured in a way. It just has this very much like an elegancy that maybe not the 787 has, even though it is a nice aircraft with the wings, right? The wings really look great on this one, the kind of angle upwards kind of wing. Okay, let's see, we're turning and we're descending at the same time. We're getting our new speed ref, so the VNAV works great on this one, at least according to me. No complaints, I really like flying this aircraft. Even though I guess the 787, just because of all the videos I've seen from Microsoft Flight Sim, seems like the most one of the most overused aircrafts, and I guess it was for a while there when it was one of the only wide bodies for Microsoft Flight Sim. But it is a fun aircraft to fly, so I can thoroughly recommend it. God, I still had the Explain forum open, and I'm looking through some of these comments, and it's like there must be a lot of kids at this, like the airplane development notice parts of this. Like caps lock, full caps lock, nice plane, nice plane. It's like, my God. Well, that's good to see that the younger people are also into these other sims other than Microsoft Flight Sim. It's good for the competition. I think that's one of the reasons why I also hold off not buying Microsoft Flight Sim, because competition is good. There's rarely anything bad with competition. Okay, let's see. We can see some of the ground below. We should soon be in the clouds. Let's go a bit lower on that. We're at 10,000 feet now. Landing lights on.
Radar director on 126.
Actually, do I have the... Sorry, wait, I'm tweaking here with the explain form. Do I have...
Radar director Airwego 4003 heavy descending to 4,000 feet.
Let me see. Yeah, because I do have the...
For the ILS approach to runway 08 right with the Timba transition air.
Yes, I do have the 787 immersion package. But we can't really see it because we're not flying in the dark, right? Okay. Unfortunate. Let's see what they said now. Okay, continue descent. Timba, blah blah blah. Let's see if there's been any changes in the weather. 07 at 4. That does sound very much like the ones we already had. Oh wait, no, that's fine actually. That should be probably just me who wrote that wrong. 07 at 4. 136. 10. Okay, so a bit of a change. In some regards, temperature. No, sorry, this is the takeoff. Why am I at the takeoff? I want to do the landing. So the landing one is the same, with one minor tweak. Sorry, which I doubt will have any impact on them. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have any impact. Okay, we're getting to 6,000. I'll soon switch. We'll ask the passengers to get seated now. Let's have a look at our... Still looks pretty good. I'll go to menu on this one. Nothing to see there for now. Now we are in the clouds. How does the clouds look? So you can see here we also have a bit the broken areas around the aircraft. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I do prefer this than the explain one, which I think I stated on my last video as well. Let's see if the weather changes once we get closer to the airport. I do hope not, but you never know. And let's see once we get below the clouds. So I thought the clouds were supposed to be at 1,700 feet. Or maybe that's where they start, right? But it's broken, so...
Cleared for the ILS approach to runway 08 right with the Timba transition Airwego 4003 heavy.
Okay, ILS approach, we're cleared for that. Let's have a look. I just want to confirm if we have the same ILS in game. Yes, 110.9 and 80. That does seem to make sense. 77, yeah, okay, should be fine. Minor differences. Okay, let's see. A bit of stuttering, but not that bad. I mean, we're getting closer to the airport, right? Can we see anything of the ground yet? Nope. Nada, but we do get some sun effect, so we are still not too deep in the clouds. Now we can see some of the ground as well. So it's not the thickest layer of clouds. Let's see what our speeds will be. That's super slow though, that speed that they are suggesting for May, but maybe it makes sense if it's gonna be a tight turn. I mean, it's not unreasonable, I guess. They want us to get down to 3,000 feet, unable to maintain speed, extend speed brakes. Let's do 3,000 here. I can go to flaps 1. That should help a bit. Hopefully we get a bit better visibility. We're getting slowly down. Altimeters should not be on standard. My mistake. 1. 2.7, right? Wasn't that the one we... Yeah, 127. Okay, look at that. Now we're getting a bit better visibility. The airport is there on our right, but now we're instead getting some sort of haze, fog. So that's not the best. Let's see how it looks once we get lower down. Still looks pretty good. We're descending to 3,000 feet. Slowly and steadily. We can soon go to flaps 5 as well. What's the FMC message? Unable to maintain descent speed. That's fine. We're fine. I hope we can do this manually. Or maybe we'll just do ILS and then do the final part of the landing manually, but let's see. Not that I have anything against auto lands, but yeah. Let's do runway, turn of lights, put that on. Maybe logo lights could be good as well. Do wing lights help at these? Maybe. Yeah, runway, turn of lights, taxi lights. I doubt they would help anything extra. Let's just turn these off. Storm lights, maybe. Oh no, that's for the inside, it looks like. Not the outside. Okay. Doesn't seem to be raining at least, so that's good. Won't hamper our visibility any further. Let's see, we gotta maintain quite a high pitch. You can see some of the airport there. It seems to have pretty old texture that kind of is see-through. But let's see. Maybe we can maintain bit less of a pitch with more flaps. We would though probably have to increase the thrust, but hopefully that can kind of compensate. Okay, we're very close now to our landing. Okay. Looks good. 10 nautical miles until our turn to the right. It will be quite a tight turn, I think, but we should hopefully be able to execute it properly. Let's go down in range to 5 maybe. That should be good. I won't activate the approach until we are here. In terms of the auto throttle, let's close that. Yeah, that's on purpose. I disconnected the auto throttle because I wanna manage it myself actually. Let's add a bit of thrust. Guess we're on manual with the auto throttle. There seems to be an aircraft landing in front of us. Doesn't seem to be any other that are coming in to land, so that's good. Should be the second in the queue. We're clear for ILS approach. Have we been handed over yet to the tower? Doesn't look like it, but will definitely be soon. Anything else we need to prep? Outside looking good. That's the airport. So that's a bit cheating that we can see it here, but well. That's just because the texture, right? You can update that yourself, I think, if you can find the right objects and change the... I think it's the alpha channel or something. Ah. Still looking good. Oh, we do have another aircraft coming in, so let's try to beat it. Hopefully we are... This might be a bit tight though. It's probably coming in quite fast.
Altimeter is 3032 tower on 124.22 Airwego 4003 heavy.
Okay, we're now contacting towers. We'll get established on final soon enough.
Tower Airwego 4003 heavy inbound for ILS approach runway 08 right. Airwego 4003 heavy continue ILS to runway 08 right call when established on final. Continue ILS approach to runway 08 right will call when established on final Airwego 4003 heavy.
Good. We are now getting... Seems like we beat that other aircraft. Hopefully. I do notice sometimes they kinda try to get on top of you. Hopefully we avoided that. I'll put on the approach. So localizer is now... We're now on the localizer and on the glide slope, a bit below the glide slope. I'm gonna drop the gears. Hopefully that aircraft will have vacated the runway. Can't know for sure. I'll go to flaps 15.
2500.
Or maybe it didn't land actually, maybe it did. Actually I think that one did a missed approach. Very interesting, I love that. I love that that sort of things can happen. Or it took off, that's the other. It could be a different aircraft, right? We don't know. Okay, let's see. I can go to flaps 20. Is everything set? It's the altimeters for the approach, which we have set. The landing, speed brake should be armed. Flaps, we should be going to flaps full. I go to flaps 30, which is flaps full on this aircraft. We are slowly descending. Let's see if we see the ground at around 1700. That's my hope, but we don't know. But let's hope. We need to add a bit more thrust. Not a lot, but just a tiny bit. We are starting to see a bit more of the ground.
Landing checklist. Land 3.
I still can't land with that. I can take off with it, but I can't land. I just don't like the HUD. I'm too used to looking down at my ugly old instrument panel. Okay, let's see. I think that's the runway right in front of us. So runway in sight. Autopilot off. My controls. Let's pull the throttles back a bit. Still looks pretty good. Let's see, we have a strong headwinds, or strong 4 knots, but at least the headwinds, so that's good. We're a bit to the right of the localizer. So I started moving a bit too much around. Common mistake to make. Okay, let's see. We're very good on the glide slope. On the glide slope, yeah. Looking very nice. We're very stable.
500.
4003 heavy winds are 068 and 4 knots, cleared to land runway 08 right.
Cleared to land.
Runway 08 right, Airwego 4003 heavy.
Let's see if we get to the minimum soon. It's looking very good. 400. I'll pull back a bit on the throttles.
300.
300. I'll pitch up a bit.
200.
200.
Approaching minimums.
We're a bit low.
Minimums.
Pulling back a bit on the throttles. 100.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
There we go. There we go. Bit fast with the nose down though. Should have let it fall a bit slower, but okay. Thrust reversers deployed. Oh, we'll be exiting it at this one already. That was crazy fast. Crazy fast from braking to being able to taxi off. So hopefully the aircraft behind us is able to land. Let's see.
Currently about 10 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile device.
Might be a bit. No, it had to do a go around. No, I was too slow. Poor A320. I screwed it. But look at the Norse here, 787s I think. I think those are the old Norwegian ones that's been taken over if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, look at that. Auto brake, can go to off. We made it. All the way to Gatwick. Now let's just park at a nice first place. I can turn off the landing lights, the strobe as well. Taxi lights on. Airwego 4003 heavy, ready to taxi. I think I again forgot to say established on final, but we did get the landing clearance, so that's nice.
Ground on 121.8 for taxi clearance. Airwego 4003 heavy.
Yeah. Let's get that taxi clearance. Airwego 4003 heavy, ready to taxi.
Airwego 4003 heavy taxi to Stanley 143 via taxiways
So it's pretty nice, and there we can see the go
Taxi
around
to Stan
aircraft.
Lima 143
I think at
via
least.
taxiways
Oh yeah,
Romeo.
it's pretty nice scenery, the UK
Airwego
2001.
4003 heavy.
I think someone else made the scenery, Genesoft or something at some point, but they seem to have removed that from P3D. It looked kind of the same, maybe a bit better in some aspects, but not enough for me. I think I still would have gone the 2001 just because they're very cheap and you get pretty good value apart from some of the texturing. It's basically just updated kind of FSX sceneries, so you don't get all the kind of nice stuff. Okay, let's see what's because we're not braking, so what's holding us up? Let me see here, and we are not. Flaps are disconnected, so we should be able to taxi. I guess that's a 900 model, so a bit longer. It just feels like we're super slow. Or maybe we just needed to brake once. That seems to have done the trick. For some reason, I don't know why. It's sometimes aircraft, they want you to like brake once, and then they'll come alive. Fuel quantity is 12.7, so we have very sufficient amounts of fuel. Could even have gone to Orly, if that would have been necessary, I guess. But barely, only barely. Yeah, let's turn here to the right. And let's just, I think it's 110. Something like that, if I am not mistaken. 110, we don't need a follow. We can use Vinci should be fine. And then we'll go to the middle one there. So let's turn to the right. I wonder what our landing rate was. Hopefully something good. Would be nice today. With a pleasant surprise. Okay, let's turn here. Okay, braking. Okay, and I will. Oh, maybe we went a bit too far. I didn't check for the VDGS. I just kind of ramboed it. I'll turn off the lights. I forgot to turn on the APU though, so that was a bit of a failure. Let's see if we can get that going again. I'll have a look at this info one, I think. No, sorry, not the info. It's the system and then stat. We can see the APU starting. We can turn on off the flight directors, the approach. And let's see also, maybe we can give the passengers. Let's see, seatbelt signs off. Maybe it will work by just doing that. Yeah, that seems to have done the trick. The APU should be on very shortly. So yeah, here we are, Gatwick, EasyJet, a lot of EasyJet, Norse. What else do we have here? More EasyJet, a nice 777 from British Airways. So not a lot, there's a lot of traffic around us, but I'm guessing this is from Heathrow. A lot of it should be from Heathrow. Okay. Very nice with the frames and everything, so that's very nice. Let's turn off the engines. I'll go to the PyRep. Engine 1 and engine 2 stopped. I'll open the door. And I'll submit the PyRep. Landing rate was 1-175 according to Compass. So that was pretty good. Let's see what Pack X says. 177. So very nice. Let's have a look at the landing and then we'll close shop for today. Analysis 360, not enough. 460, that was a bit better. Okay, let's see. So here we're coming in. Sucks that you can't see the traffic once you're doing the replays, but oh well,
300.
not the end of the world.
Too low. Flaps.
I'll just exit Compass
200. Too low.
and exit pilot to ADC.
Minimums.
We got the minimums. Let me check that. This was a very good approach.
30. 20.
I was
10.
very pleased, almost buttering it. Or I guess almost, but a bit fast with the nose, getting that nose down. Could have done that a bit smoother. But yeah, pretty good. As you can see, we can see all the visual, I mean the thrust reversers, we can see the speed brakes, the flaps. So that's really nice actually by QualityWings. Let's see if we can see once we deactivate the thrust reversers. There we go. Huge engines. So close to the ground. But yeah, that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And otherwise, until next time, thank you for watching. Bye bye.